is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Pursue Fitness, and as always I'm very happy to be joined by promoter Frank Warren. Frank, how are you keeping?
I'm good, Andy. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well. Obviously we're down here today for the announcement of a couple of fights, starting off with Daniel Dubois back at Royal Albert Hall, not himself but obviously you will be back at Royal Albert Hall promoting once again. Daniel Dubois stepping in with Dubois-Tetteh. Talking about the fight, what do you know about Ebenezer?
Well, Tetteh first of all has got a fight next week in Accra in Ghana. He's undefeated. He's 19-0, 16 knockouts, and subject to him coming through that fight, the Commonwealth Championship Committee have approved him and Daniel for their vacant Commonwealth title. So I'm hoping he will come through. He's a big lump, a big guy, a big lump as we say in the trade. He's 6'3", 6'4". They tell me he's a bit like Larty, and that was a very exciting and good fight last time out. So that's what we're looking at. So hopefully he'll come through on Saturday, and that sets up Daniel going for his 7th belt in his 13th fight.
How key do you think that experience was, Daniel, when he fought Richard Larty, to go in there and have a bit of a war just to understand maybe what he needs to be careful of down the line against when he does come up against even better operators?
Well, it's you can't with Daniel, he's got tremendous self-belief in his ability. He's got tremendous punching power, and he showed great boxing skills in his last fight out against Nathan Gorman. This for him is all about his discipline and learning. I like sometimes the guys to be under that sort of pressure of the unknown. And it brings out the best of him. But he's a tremendous young talent, and he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's very focused on what he wants to achieve in boxing and what he's got to put into it, and he does it.
Daniel's someone who now, especially on the back of the Nathan Gorman victory, a lot of anticipation and excitement's grown even more around him. How do you feel that he's going to cope with it, and how do you try and manage that? Because a lot of fans will want to see him continue to step up with the level of opponents.
Well, he will cope with it. I mean, he's got to cope. If he don't cope with it, then he's in the wrong business. That's what he has to do. But he seems pretty relaxed. He's maturing as a person. Remember, he only had 7 senior bouts as an amateur, but he's maturing. He's putting great performances on in the ring. I think he's the future of heavyweight boxing.
Now, we will touch on Nicola Adams in a second, but you've had time to reflect on that Nathan Gorman victory for Daniel Dubois. What was your thoughts on it?
I thought he boxed extremely well, Daniel. Most people thought he was going to be a boxer against a puncher, and they were both good punchers, and they're both good boxers, him and Nathan. Nathan brought a lot to the table, and he caught Daniel a couple of times with a couple of good shots in that fight. But for me, the key to winning that fight was all about who could establish the jab. And that's what Daniel did, and he showed that he can box as well as punch.
I know there hasn't been any rumours or any talks yet as to where Nathan will go from here with his next fight. I know just before the bout he had a newborn. Is he looking to take a bit of time off, just spend it with family, or? Well,
he's just, as you say, he's had a new baby, so I'm sure him and his wife and the family are enjoying that. And when he's ready to box, I'm ready to put him on. He's with us, and we'll make sure that we keep him going.
And Nicola Adams back onto this card. We'll be facing Leonela Udica, provided she comes through Isabella Milan. Your thoughts on matching Nicola up with Leonela?
Well, she's now the WBO champion, so she's creating history as if she hasn't created enough by being a double Olympic gold medalist. She's creating history by being the first woman to box for a world title at the Royal Albert Hall. She'll defend her WBO title whatever happens, and we're hoping in the opposite corner, provided she comes through, as you just mentioned, the Argentinian girl, and that'll be a unification match if we can get that on.
Now, because I know you're in a rush, I do want to just quickly whiz through a few other things going on in the boxing world. We'll start off with some rumours mounting that Tyson Fury's next opponent will be Fury-Wallin. Any confirmation for us, Frank?
No confirmation at the moment. When Tyson's next opponent and where he's boxing is announced, it'll be done simultaneously with everybody involved.
No confirmation, but as regards to Fury-Wallin, what do you know about him? What are your thoughts on him as a fighter?
He's undefeated, and he's world ranked, and for any of the heavyweights, he's a decent opponent.
Tyson, obviously, in the long term, is preparing for that fight with Deontay Wilder, that rematch with Deontay Wilder. What types of opponents would be the right step up for Tyson to prepare for what will only be a better rematch, you would assume, second time round?
Well, you've got to remember what it was all about with Tyson was establishing his brand and his profile in the States, and that's why he was boxing on ESPN. Well, that's why we've done a deal with ESPN. So the next fight is the continuation of that, in with a fighter who's got a world ranking. And then hopefully he comes through that, and hopefully if Deontay Wilder comes through his fight against Ortiz, then that fight will happen next year. But that's they're great plans. That's all we'd like to see happen. We've seen great plans all go up in the air, as they did with a big odds-on favourite in Anthony Joshua fighting Ruiz. One punch can change the whole fight and the whole scene dramatically.
Now, over the weekend as well, we heard that yourself and Billy Joe Saunders come to an amicable split. Just talking about the decision for you both to part ways.
Well, we just, we sat down, we thought about it with his management team, NTK. We sat down, all of us, and we decided that was where we were going. I've done worked very hard with him over the years, for all the ups and downs and all that's gone on. He's won the British, Commonwealth, European, 2 world titles at 2 different weights. We've done brilliantly together, but I felt and he felt, and we got, especially after that Callum Smith turning down the fight, felt that let's go and let's see if he can go and do something in a different direction, because I wanted to move in a different direction. I didn't want to be putting on another fight involving him in a mandatory defence against a guy that which are tough sales for us. We were looking for the big fight, so it is what it is. And as I say, it's very amicable, and we're very, and I wish him all the best. He's a friend, and I'm sure that he'll go from strength to strength. And if he maintains and focuses his direction, he's capable of beating all these guys.
In the statement that was released over the weekend, it was mentioned that you just wasn't able to secure those big fights. I know Golovkin had signed a contract, but then never came through. Is there any fights in particular for you that were?
They were, we secured them, and they sent us their contracts, and the fights never happened for whatever reason. When you think we've got Callum Smith, the big fight against Canelo, and a couple of other guys we put in with another one with Canelo. Delivering big fights, I've been doing that for ages. I mean, we delivered Tyson Fury, the big fight against Deontay Wilder. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but in this particular instance, we didn't want to go down the road, and nor did Bill, of having another mandatory, and we are where we are. So as I say, I had fights, I had contract with some fights left on it, and we sat down and we felt this is the way forward for both of us, and we're both happy with where we're at with it.
A lot of rumours circulating that he might sign with Eddie Hearn. Eddie's obviously got the DAZN deal, who have Golovkin and Canelo contracted to them. Eddie's got Callum Smith, who tried to negotiate a fight with Demetrius Andrade, Danny Jacobs. Do you think that would maybe be one of the best moves for him because of the middleweights and the super middles signed up there?
He'd do what he thinks best for him, and with the greatest respect, I couldn't give a monkey's who he signs with. That's his choice. That's up to him.
And Anthony Yarde versus Sergey Kovalev, we're getting closer to that date, Frank. Obviously, there was a few rumours floating about that. In the background, Kovalev was negotiating a deal with Canelo. What was your take on all of that when those rumours surfaced?
Exactly what they were trying to do. They were trying to negotiate, but it's not happening. He's got to fight our man. Anthony's got to fight. He's going to the other guy's backyard, Tractor City in Russia, and it's a tough fight for him. But you know what? He can pull it off. If he catches him, he can outbox him and he can outpunch him. And I hope that's going to be the case on the 24th.
Does Yarde need to go there? Does he need to get the stoppage victory?
No, I think I think he'll get a fair shake down there. I really do.
Well, Frank, I know you're in a rush now, so as always, it's been a pleasure. So thanks for speaking to Boxing Social.
Cheers, Andy. All the best. See you,
Thank
mate.
you. See you later.